we go. We're live. It's time. It's Friday. There's coffee. It's a great day to be awake and alive and doing it. I'm pumped. Ah, man. Good stuff happening. One. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Friday, April 3rd, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I made it a little bit stronger this morning just because I could. I love coffee. Well, today is I don't know how many days of being home, doing a lot of nothing physically. I think in terms of my own kind of quarantine, we're at 2.5 weeks. I had a long conversation with my mechanic yesterday as I dropped off and picked up the car for swapping the snow tires. It was great. It was nice to see someone physically, not on a screen. What else did I do? Client meeting. Did some work. Worked out in the living room. Cleaned the house more. Dishes. And our first social media went out about the strength and conditioning program. And we sold some. Bam. Right off the bat. And that was great. So thank you to everyone who made a purchase. And I'm excited. I think this program is gonna really do some good stuff for us. And it's still in at, what is it, $19.99, and we're gonna raise that price another $1 or $2 in a couple weeks. And that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be this constant effort to improve it and raise the price. It's just gonna be more and more. Every time I put in, an hour or two of work improving it, we're gonna raise the price another $1 or $2. And I mean, at some point we're gonna have to stop raising the price. I don't know where that'll be though. We'll see. Depends on where the value kind of taps out. So if you're listening, you should buy it now because you get lifetime access. And don't forget, first cup 15 to save 15% off anything at the whistlekick.com store. What else? I think that was it yesterday. Watched some TV. I was going to build my new garden beds today, but it's raining. So I'll do that tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 55 and sunny. So it's a good day to get outside. What else? I don't know. I think that's all I got. It's not very much, but what do you expect? Oh, we did have an episode yesterday, and in typical me fashion, forgot to mention that it was Thursday, and there was an episode. And yesterday's episode was on, of Martial Arts Radio, was on shifting mindset from, maybe a intense training scenario to a less intense training scenario. And it was, good morning, happy Friday, Stacy. The way the subject was presented to me was someone had been training and noticed that some of the people who were more used to their more intense classes, their kind of MMA classes, were working with people used to sparring, like point sparring classes. And it created some challenges. So I offered up my thoughts on that. If you missed out on the super podcast with Jared, Nando, and I, that video got edited and posted in the event on Facebook, and it will get cleaned up and get an intro and outro it'll be 2 weeks before that comes out. What else? No. I think that's it. What am I doing this weekend? I saw a great graphic on Facebook yesterday, and it perfectly expressed how I'm feeling. And I'm 40, most of you around my age will likely remember Animaniacs and then Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do today, Brain? The same thing we do every day, Pinky. Stay at home and flatten the curve. Yay, more staying at home. I'm at this point now where I'm thinking of just like loading up my backpack and just going, just walking. Maybe, maybe for more than, maybe just walking and coming back the next day. I don't know where I would walk to. That's probably not the point. But if I walked for, 24 hours across 2 days, I could probably get pretty far and come back. I don't know. Maybe I've got a bike. I've got a mountain bike that I don't use. The tires are kind of flat. I could pump that up and see how it's doing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. That's the takeaway of that story. But we got a bunch of questions and comments in here, so let's check them out. The jokes for Funday Friday, courtesy of Frank. If you ever get cold, stand in the corner of a room for a while. They're usually 90 degrees. I took part in the sun tanning Olympics, but I only got bronze. Stacy says, do any of us know what we were doing? No, I don't think. There are plenty of people pretending they know what they're doing. Oh, I cut my hair yesterday and trimmed. I will probably shave this down, but I didn't feel like doing all the work at the same time. How does NASA organize a party? They plan it. That's a great one. I really like that one. And we got questions today from Frank and from Nish. We'll start with Frank's questions. What are some foods that help keep your immune system strong? It's I don't think of it that way. I think of it as there are foods that keep everything working properly, and things that Stacy says, Frank, you make my Fridays. There are foods that we eat that keep you healthy and just kind of keep things working properly. And if you think of the body as this interdependent sequence, all these systems tied together, anytime one of them falls out of order, the rest of them are going to be affected quite often. And so I think of it as if I eat just generally healthy foods, that supports my immune system. I think of foods that compromise my immune system, and that can be anything from too much dairy or processed food. Lots of sugar, lots of salt, lots of things that we know are not healthful as part of our diet. But if you want things that boost your immune system, I don't think of them so much as food. To me, they're more supplemental. Things with a lot of vitamin C, vitamin D. It's really hard to get enough vitamin D through food. This is why we talk about it as getting out in the sun, and this is why we talk about it as a supplement, taking a pill. Garlic, really anything from the allium family, garlic, onions, leeks, can be helpful in that way. Apple cider vinegar, anything with a high probiotic content. So that'd be apple cider vinegar or kimchi or sauerkraut. If you're not already feeling like you might be getting sick, yogurt cottage cheese, any kind of cultured dairy product like that. Um, Buttermilk falls into that category. And then you've got a lot of your adaptogenic mushrooms, chaga, reishi, lion's mane, etc. Most of those have some properties like that. Elderberry is an antiviral. When I think of things that are good for the immune system, just good as assisting with health, I don't think of them as food. They generally fall in the category of herbs. I think I have to clean the cat's toes. That or she's clicking her toenails on the floor. I'm like doing a walk around my property. Like what's there that I will use. Any of the fresh herbs. I mean, even oregano. And if you think about things that used to be valuable, why were they valuable? They were valuable because they were rare and or they were impactful. Herbs, not terribly hard to grow, but really impactful. And it doesn't mean you need all of them. Anything can be helpful. If you wanted one thing that most people could do to improve their health, it would be adding in either greens every day or a piece of fruit every day, like trying to build a habit around one healthy but really nutritious fruit or vegetable. That's what I would start with. And don't pick it because it tastes good. Honestly, the one that you find least appealing is probably the one you need the most, but you don't have to go to that extreme. Are there any beverages that can help the immune system? You can make a tea out of anything. I grow mint in my yard and I make tea out of that. And that's not, that can be, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like over the top great for my immune system. The best thing I have in my yard for my immune system is echinacea. I have a couple echinacea plants and take some leaves off of that and smash them up and put some hot water on them. Usually with something else, because echinacea by itself doesn't taste great. You can buy echinacea tea. You can buy plenty of immune boosting teas. There are lots of things out there. If you've got a little bit of land, echinacea plants, sometimes they're called red coneflower, really inexpensive. You can get some for, I think the two I have cost me $2.99 each. And they're perennial. And they don't put them in the middle of a flower bed unless you want more to grow up, because they produce a ton of seed and some of it will grow. I've got some growing in some odd places, but I don't care because it gets mowed. Other teas. Sometimes I'll put some ground up chaga mushroom in the. I make my coffee pretty much the way people make tea, right? I steep hot water through my coffee grounds. I'll sometimes put some chaga in there. There's a lot out there. There's. If you think of the entirety of food and edible plants that we have available, just what grows in your area and what you can get at your grocery store, there's a ton there. There's so much stuff there. And I think the key is not to look for one thing that's that much more powerful. It's how can I incorporate a little bit of this in everything? how can I add, a little bit of dried whatever herb to this meal I'm making, to this meal I'm making. It doesn't have to be enough that it changes the flavor. Just by adding little bits, right? It's kind of the frequency concept of 2-minute martial arts. We've all got a couple minutes a day. You've all, throw in a pinch of dried oregano in your food. Is that going to completely change your health? No. But is it going to make a little bit of an impact? Yes. And what about doing it every day? Yes. Stacy says, last year we made some of our own teas through a healing garden at the hospital. Hoping we get to do that again. I was a garden tender for that. Cool. There's a lot out there. There's a lot we can do. And I think with everybody staying home right now, I think people are starting to look a little more close to home for things. This is why I'm building 2 more garden beds. I was planning on doing this anyway, but the timing is right. And even though I'm cutting back on something, that's something I'm not cutting back on because I have plants coming. I already ordered them and they need a place to go. Right? Right. Why are you being a pill? Do you want to come on the show? What do you want? Did you eat your food already? Come here. Come say hi to the people. Come say hi. Come say hi. Oh, I got you. We've been shaving her mats. Hey, put it down. Hey, you're fine. You're fine. Stop. Stop. Let go of the couch. She's very displeased right now. Next question. How do other things like sleep, stress, or exercise affect immunity? All right. Sleep's an easy one. If sleep is when things recover, it's when things heal, it's when they balance out. The irony of this time being home and not going out and everything, I'm getting way more sleep and I feel amazing. And it just makes me want to go out. There are days I'm going to bed before 9. I'm up. Part of my morning routine shifted a little bit. I'm up at 5:45 now. But that's still 8.5, 9 hours of sleep. I feel good. I feel really good. I feel rested. And then on weekends, I think last weekend I slept one day close to 12 hours. I went to bed at like 8:45 and I was up at like 8:15. And I felt great. Sleep is the number one controllable thing that we have that will impact everything else. You sleep enough, you drink enough water, the rest of it is hugely secondary. Movement. I might lump movement into that. Stress as the second one. Stress has an impact. If you think about stress and the way the body responds to stress, chronic stress. When the body is stressed, think about when stress occurred. I always preface with this, assuming you believe in evolution. If you think about what stress was to our body 5,000, 10,000 years ago, if you were in a state of stress, something was trying to kill you. So it was okay to be in that stress state for a limited period of time. What happens during that period of time? Digestion slows. There are a bunch of biological processes that don't work as well. But when you're chronically stressed and those biological processes aren't happening as much or as efficiently, it can impact anything and everything. I would suspect that a lot of the chronic conditions people deal with are a result of chronic stress. Stress can impact sleep, sleep can impact stress. I mean, there can be an unfortunate cycle there. But if you feel stressed, and I'm someone who deals with anxiety, probably diagnosable chronic anxiety, I spend a lot of time trying to relax, trying to work on that, trying to feel less stressed. And some of that is knowing what helps which is sleep and exercise and certain foods and certain supplements and sometimes some self-medication with, maybe a drink. Because is the alcohol healthy for me? No. But is the alcohol relaxing me healthy? Yeah. So it's a balancing act. And this is something that I worked on, I've continued to work on, I will continue to work on probably for the rest of my life. It's how I'm built. But I'm not willing to just accept it and say, I can't do anything about it. Now, the most difficult part of that question to answer is the third piece, is exercise. How does exercise impact the immune system? Exercise can be beneficial to your immune system, but can also compromise it. So if you think about how the body responds to exercise, forget about the immune part of it. If you go and you have a really hard workout, let's say the type of workout where, for a couple days you're sore and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, I feel that, that was a great workout, which we're not going to talk about it today, but that's too hard if you're feeling it for days later. Your body has been damaged. It has to repair itself. And that will compromise your immune system. Because what's the job of your immune system? It's to remain healthy. It's to fight off foreign invaders. I remember back early in the show when I talked about everything being kind of intermixed. In Western science, we like to think that, this system in the body is independent, and this system in the body, well, they all relate together. They all tie together. There's this matrix of systems in the body, and if you pull one of them down, the rest are compromised. We do know that after a really hard workout, your immune system is compromised. So if you are starting to get sick, a hard workout is not what you want. However, a light workout can actually improve the immune system by keeping things in the body moving. I've talked about the difference between movement and exercise a number of times on the show. I will continue to talk about it because people don't see the difference. There is a huge difference. Walking, which doesn't spark the fight or flight response in the body, versus running, which does. Right? There's a sneeze coming. I'm trying to fight off. So hence the faces. The reason that we need some movement without fight or flight is because movement does a lot of things for joints and for some of the glands in the body, that without that movement, there isn't the mobility of fluid through those parts of the body. And so we need that. And without that, we're not as healthy. So if someone came to me and they said, I'm starting to feel like I might be getting sick, should I work out? I would say you should do a very light workout. Probably half the repetitions and half the weight of what a really hard workout would be. If we think about it, sometimes people use rating of perceived exertion, RPE, as a metric. How hard are you working out on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being like I can't even move more. A typical workout for people, somewhere from 7 to 9. I usually encourage 7 to 8. This would be 4 to 5 if you're starting to feel like you're getting sick. Because what's the worst thing that happens? You don't get sick, okay? And you feel better the next day, okay? You can work out again. A lot of people are afraid of, there are a lot of people in the fitness community who are afraid of losing their gains, whatever that means to you. You lose a lot more laying in bed sick for a week than you do having a 50% workout one day. It's about consistency more than anything else. Consistency and frequency. And I think we got one more question. I've been noticing we've been getting spammers on the channel, but they're making nice comments. Nice video, it was really good, and cool video, I really liked it. I'm not going to delete them because even though I know they're spam, they're still comments. And they're positive, so I'll leave them. All right, last one from Nish. With technology what it is today and the best of the best at anything a click away, how do you avoid imposter syndrome? Um, there are a couple ways he could be asking that question, so I'm going to pick one of them. How do I avoid avoid impersonating someone else, providing the same thing that someone else does? It's actually the same way that you keep someone from impersonating you, from being an imposter. Be you, unapologetically you, completely, genuinely, authentically you. And that can take some time. That can be a scary thing for people, to go on camera and be them. I was afraid to come on camera and wear a bathrobe the first time I did this show. And here we are, I don't know how long later, a couple years later. And this is me. It's part of my day. It's part of my life to do this show now. And could someone else do a show in their bathrobe and talk about life and fitness and health and martial arts? Yep. Would I care? Nope, because they're not me. And I think we spend a bit too much time worrying about what other people are doing. And if you go way back, you'll see that I'm very aware martial arts radio was not the first podcast, not the first martial arts podcast. And early on, I worked hard to forge friendships with other people who made martial arts podcasts. They've all got a different take on it. And then there were enough of them that we made a website called martialartspodcast.com to feature not only Whistlekick, but other shows. Because what would I rather have? What is better for the martial arts, which is the express goal of Whistlekick, to assist the traditional martial arts world? What is better? Someone to listen to martial arts radio and kind of enjoy it, or for them to listen to, say, Sensei Ando and love it? Cool. If they're only going to listen to one martial arts podcast, I want them to listen to the one that supports their goals as a martial artist or their view of martial arts the most. That doesn't have to be our show. And this is why I like our business model. Our business model is based on Google's original, maybe not original, but old business model that I haven't heard them say in a very long time. If it gets people on or keeps them on the internet, they're going to see some of our advertising and we'll make some money. Our business model, if it gets people into or keeps them in the martial arts, they're more likely to buy something from us at some point. So it doesn't have to be our stuff. I don't care. We make stuff. We make shirts and we make equipment. And now we're not switching gears, but we're focused on our digital content, our books, our strength and conditioning program. Sold a number of copies yesterday. Yay. Was excited. This is what we do. So if somebody popped up and they tried to impersonate Whistlekick, okay. I see people steal our memes from time to time. They try to crop our name out of it. And we find that once in a while because we're always looking at what other people are posting. And when they do post it, I write to them and say, somebody on the team will usually write to me and say, hey, this person's stealing our meme. Because I don't care if they repost it. But if you try to take credit for our work, that I'm going to have an issue with. And I'll always write to them and say, hey, I don't know if you realized, but you're reposting some of our content without our name on it. And you're welcome to reuse anything that we post, but please don't take credit for it without acknowledging us. And they'll always make, oh, I'm sorry, I found it somewhere else. Yeah, liar. Either put up the real one or take it down. You know how I know that they didn't get it from somewhere else? Because they can never remember where they found it. Now, Mish, if you meant imposter syndrome in a different way, follow up with me, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Because I'm not confident I answered your question. 30 minutes! Just did a 30-minute show. All right. I'm going to go. Don't forget, Martial Arts Radio Live next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we got the fancy new software. So I'm excited. We'll be able to do all kinds of cool stuff with that. What else? That's it. That's it. So, excuse me. I hope you have excuse me. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Remember, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and support us by making a purchase at whistlekick.com with the code FIRSTCUP15. Yeah, FIRSTCUP15. Martial Arts Radio's podcast 15. FIRSTCUP15. If you have a question, comment, drop it below, and I'll answer it on Monday. Take care. Peace.